Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
I'm Trevor Hankins.
Rachel Wells.
And I'm Julia Canon.
Welcome to On the Air with Power Squared. We're having the whole gang here today to talk about all things Power Squared.
That's right.
I guess we've been doing some work on issue 19.
Yes.
Right? You were doing some coloring, Julia?
Yeah, I just I put in the edits for what we talked about from last episode. So
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't obviously looked at them yet, but we do.
Yeah.
Let's look at them now. No, I'm kidding.
Nope. Please don't.
Oh, okay.
Please no.
Should we be worried? No. And so then I guess there's more pages to do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And Rachel was going to ink a page or something for us.
Yeah, progress has been pretty slow this month, admittedly. I'm still on the inks for 17 to 20 and then the cover. But luckily I managed to ink a bunch of pages in the past couple of days, and I'm pretty positive I will be able to finish this week. So I'm very excited about that. They're almost done.
Okay. You did promise the end of the month. So we're
Yeah.
gonna hold you to it. If we have to fly to Philadelphia, don't make us angry. No.
I was going to ask Julia, was it weird last episode getting live feedback like that?
Like, I mean, I wasn't like uncomfortable, but it's just like a new experience because like I know you guys look at my stuff and you guys have like reviewed stuff like the coloring before. It's just I wasn't like there.
Yeah.
So it was a feeling of like, yeah, this is normal, but it's like I've never really been like in front of you guys with you. No,
Yeah.
I can't word right now.
Yeah. So you didn't feel our wrath or anything like that, right? No.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
It's
feeling
really interesting getting it's really interesting getting feedback in person versus over an email, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like if I write something and somebody reads it. I don't want to be in the room when they read it. You know.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Especially when they read it out loud. I'm like, no, stop.
Well, I hear, like I've been writing classes where you have to write something and the class has to read it. And you have to sit there with everybody's going, just flipping pages and just hear people breathing. It's like, God.
Like I have never been so insecure about the English language until now.
Yeah. So it's.
And I remember in art school, there's something about in class critique where you just like, you know, you put your art up or the it's just there for everyone to see and you're like, this is the worst thing I've ever made in my entire life. And I'm so embarrassed.
I always can't help the feeling that it's like you're in this class too. You don't obviously know what you're talking about either. You do take people's opinions, but it's like
Yeah. Well, I actually did have a teacher, I think, at UCLA, and I think it was, write a novel in 10 weeks, and we had to be, because the first draft of the novel is the hardest to write, the point was to be, like, more positive and supportive. And so, like, you only say the good things about what they're writing, so the writer will just figure out on their own what might not be working. I think it was her opinion was, like, students shouldn't really be critiquing each other harshly because we're all, like, we're all amateurs, so you don't necessarily know what you're doing.
Right. Haven't you ever read something by somebody, at least in my experience, it was like really bad.
Yeah.
And it's like hard to find something, hey, this is, if you're looking for something that sucks, this is great. You know? But also I noticed that if you're in class, if you do critique somebody harshly because it sucks, they'll find things wrong with yours no matter what it is. Yeah. It gets, it's a
negative feedback loop.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not good.
Although an interesting, now while I'm thinking about an interesting exercise in that class is also we had to write a 1-paragraph positive review of our book, like under the idea that it was finished and published, and then write a 1-paragraph negative review about the book. The idea being you are actually writing out what you think you are doing well and what you think needs to be worked on.
So it was acknowledging your accomplishments, but also acknowledging that it could be better. pretty much.
Yeah, you're basically laying out for yourself where you think you need to work, where you think you need to improve on the text.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And probably in reality, those negative things are why it's not published. You know, I mean, why it wouldn't be? But anyway, yeah, no, it's good. It's a good exercise actually.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of your teacher with the idea of giving positive feedback. That's kind of a good thing.
Yeah. Now, when you, of course, with writing a novel, when you start getting to like the second draft, that's when criticism is more helpful at that stage. But the idea of being positive was this is already the hardest kind of writing to do, so we don't need to make it harder.
Right.
Anyway.
You ever been in a class where a teacher likes somebody's writing so much more than you think it's not that great? But
Maybe.
I mean, I've had you know that experience where the teacher was gaga over this girl's story, which was basically her family story, which was wasn't that unusual, but she was like, oh, this is great, blah blah blah. I'm like, it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
But I think they'd also worked together before on it or something, so you don't know that whole history.
Right.
But anyway.
So moving on.
I do like certain books,
Yeah.
like books that have actually been published, and everyone's like, "This is an amazing book," and I read it, and I'm like, I don't see it.
That was me with House of Leaves.
I always think it's amazing that they got a book published because it's very hard. You know, you see so many in the store, but it's really hard to get to that point. So it is an accomplishment, so which I have not been able to do yet. So.
So enough about that.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to leave the show. Anyway, so how's everybody doing this past month, I guess, since we've been all together?
It's getting colder. I don't like it.
And darker sooner.
Yeah.
No, don't remind me of Bus to Work. No.
Yeah, that must be fun.
It's like, it's been mild here, but still chilly.
Yeah. Oh dear.
All right. One thing that one of the things we were trying to do was register for copyright 13 and 14, which is where we found that thing we talked about changing. It was sort of a glare over a name that was just if anybody's actually watching and cares, but it was sort of hide the name better.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of a little hung up on that, getting that done. And we also I had the idea like a month ago, since we have San Ramiro Community College, we're all wearing the t-shirts, why not have San Ramiro Community College Press, and maybe they could actually be the quote-unquote publisher of the comic book instead of nobody.
Yeah.
So
I want to bring that up.
yeah, so let's take a look. And Trevor took Rachel's I guess mascot design and created a there you go, little logo that we're going to put, a little bug I guess we'll put next to the title of the book.
So cute.
Yeah, SRCC Press. I think it's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
I also made a version of it with white text so it could be used on darker covers.
Yeah, it didn't
We're
work.
just showing the black text because it's probably not going to show up well in the video.
Yeah, the white that we looked at, it doesn't look like there's anything there. So this
Just imagine the white.
yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's kind of I like that idea.
Yeah.
Anybody have any comments or anything? Okay. I'll take that as everybody loves it. So
It's perfect.
so hopefully that'll be showing up on 13 and 14, and when Artith Merrick ever calls our number, it'll show up on that book as well. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. I know they just sort of wrapped up the Delegates Kickstarter, and I haven't heard anything about ours. So, and I don't think the fact that we're Meet the Creator Day, if anybody's watching, we're Meet the Creator on Artith Merrick's social media. I on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. They have a little bit about us, and that's and I think that's necessarily a precursor to when this is actually going to happen or not. Anyway.
Yeah.
So does anybody else have something they want to talk about related to the comic book or not related to the comic book?
We finished lettering I think issue 18.
Right. Okay.
Yay!
So I actually should do better. I'm not necessarily sending those around when they're done. Would you guys like to actually see what these look like when they're finished ahead of time?
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Didn't you used to send the finished PDFs before they were published, or am I mistaken?
I probably did. There's a lot of things I
like to collect them.
Okay. Well, tell me the last one you have, and then I'll make sure you have the rest. Because there's things
What's the last
like...
one I have? 17. So I guess 18 was just finished, so I guess I do have all of them.
Okay.
All right.
So I've been pretty good about that. That's good. Yeah, there's times I look at the website. We have a link on there to the video of the week that this video will be on next week's on the website. And I looked back. I did it on Wednesday, and I hadn't really updated it for a month. I just forget. There's 15 things to do every time, and I always leave something out.
Yeah, I guess when you have a lot of balls to juggle, it's easy to drop one.
Yeah, but it's just wow, it's a month ago, and I think it might have been the last time we did this. So anyway, and then I guess once you're done with inking 19, then we can start on 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're done, we'll send you that script. So we can get started.
Awesome, I'm excited.
I hope so. So, anything else?
Related to the comic, I'm not sure
Okay.
that there's anything new.
All right. So, if you're watching next week, we actually have a guest, Stephen Laffler. He contacted us through, I guess, a Facebook group. We're looking for occasionally to have guests. We'd like to have, other people besides us talk occasionally.
Yeah.
And so he signed up. He has a Kickstarter that's in process, and it's going to end 2 days after that he's on. But he was cool with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it'd be interesting to meet somebody new.
Yeah.
That's been kind of besides talking to you guys, that's been kind of a fun part of doing this is meeting new people.
Yeah.
And catching up with people we already know. All right.
I was going to say, as far as guests go, it'd still be cool if we could somehow get Critical to talk about God Slap with him, but when we tried to email him, he didn't respond, so I guess his inbox is just constantly flooded.
Yeah.
Well, try again.
And I'm sure he's looking for the publicity that only this show can provide. Anyway. All right.
All right, so if you're watching this later on YouTube and you like what you saw, leave a like and consider subscribing and ringing that bell.
So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
I'm Trevor Hankins.
I'm Rachel Wells.
And
Oh,
Julia
gosh,
Canon.
sorry. I did the thing again.
That's okay. It's live. That happens. So, and you've been on the air, obviously, with Power Squared.